Welcome back to another episode of NextGen. On this week's discussion of caste in India, the situation of minorities in India, we did discuss this before on NextGen, and today we will be examining Dalits. You're watching us on Galaxy 19 satellite, MuslimNetwork.tv, Amazon Fire TV, Roku, and soon on Apple TV as well. Now, the recent gang rape and killing of a 19-year-old college-going girl in Hathras has raised questions of the situation of Dalits in India and how that situation continues to worsen. A 19-year-old girl, this girl is a teenager, and right after her gang rape, there were killings of two other Dalit women as well on that same exact day. And to further discuss caste in India, we have with us Dadasaheb Tandale, who is currently a PhD at UMass at the School of Global Inclusion and Social Development. His dissertation is a comparative analysis of inequity in accessing maternal health of Black women in the United States and Dalit women in India right to health framework. He's been passionately working for socioeconomic and political inclusion of marginalized and oppressed communities at the intersection of race, class, religion, and gender. He's worked over a decade in India in human rights research, advocacy, and program operations with government, partner agencies, and communities. Dadasaheb has also started an initiative-based foundation to work for sustainable development of oppressed communities. I can go on and on about his bio. I think I can fill the whole segment just talking about the work that he has done over a decade, right, in human rights just in India, and here he's doing that same work. Absolutely phenomenal. Thank you for being on our show, and thank you for the work that you've done.
Thank you for inviting me to share my ideas and views. Thank you.
An absolute honor to have you. Now, Dadasaheb, I want to start off with the recent case in Hathras and the many other cases that have happened with and regarding Dalit women. What does this tell us about the situation of Dalits in India?
So, situation in India, I would just like to quote the National Crime Bureau report, 2019. 3,500 rapes against Dalit women were reported. When I'm using word reported, that means many were or most of them were not reported. So on daily basis, there are 10 rapes against Dalit girl in India. So this, like, um, Dr. Ambedkar says that if you want to see if a progress, if a society has progress or not, just see the progress a woman has made in that society, in that community. So this shows that Indian society, I want to specifically say Indian caste society, has been treating Dalits not well. I would not hesitate to say not equal human beings since generations. And even today, this is a case study or operation against Dalits or scheduled caste or any other minorities is a form of institutional discrimination or inequity which exists in India, and the primary parameter or primary access of that is caste. So I think so. Since the time caste has existed, or since that till the time the caste will exist, this will change its form from one form to another form, but this will exist until unless we annihilate this caste system.
And the Supreme Court in India has passed a judgment, right, that if a woman says that she is raped, then that suffices, right, as proof. But, Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath sent his officials and police officers to determine that the Hathras case was not even a rape. What does this tell us about the general trend of democracy in India, how far away we might be going from that, and just the overall situation of Dalits as well?
Again, I would like to quote Dr. Ambedkar. Even though after 1950, after accepting the constitution, we are become politically democrat, but socially we are not at all democratic society. So comments from Yogi or any other officials, it clearly shows that being in that state positions or being in that power, they don't even understand what Vishaka guidelines which you mentioned about, like Supreme Court. After that one case, very famous case of an unfortunately non-Dalit girl, there were guidelines which came out and all that. They didn't even read that, and they say, like, for example, for example, police, CM, or any XYZ person can't decide it's a rape or not. It's the court who can decide, and they are directly saying that it is not a rape case and all that, which is like very not so good on their part, being officials, and like, and it reflects that how caste is in the system as well.
Yeah.
And I think so, Yogi, I can't expect, like, I'm like, it's like, means I don't have words. If I see Yogi, I can't expect him to be neutral. I don't want him to be like pro this. I can't see him neutral. His caste biases, his religion biases are going to come in between his decisions and how he operates his state, and like, and it is reflecting everywhere.
And Dadasaheb, you said that you look at Yodi and you don't expect anything else from him except what he's doing. And I think that kind of goes to show the general trend of many Indians who are accustomed to and desensitized to many of what's happening in India. But let's talk about the general situation of Dalits. Tell us more about that and how caste affects their daily lives.
So this is like very big question, but I would like to, I will try my best to be more brief as I can. A life of a scheduled caste person in India is um, like not equal to others. I would not like to use any negative word because it impacts their self-respect as well, but not equal to others. Like, I would like not used to say not equal to other human beings. They suffer at every level: social, political, economic, every, like, land holdings, education, everything is impacted because of caste. And how it impacts? Because there is no social capital. Caste breaks that brotherhood. Like, no one would like to support me, or no one would like to give me his hand or her hand to rise myself because I don't belong to her or his caste. So that is the first access. Why I'm saying this? Because people may say after listening to me that, oh, there are, like, there is affirmative action, there is all these things going to happen and all that. But when you go and see the data, it doesn't reflect what it has been said. Like, there are seats, there are around 80% of seats which are not filled properly. There is like intentional delay in giving postings. There are intentional delay in doing all these things, even for, like, for the sake of professors, like any other field and all that. Education, even education, privatization of education. First thing which is happening with privatization of education is the only resource for the Dalits, which was education, to rise their, like, socio-economical all the statuses, it is going to get like lesser, or it is going to get they are going to take it away from them. And privatization or private schools coming in between, government schools lacking their quality, government schools like not giving any proper education. And recently in the education policy, they have, like, stopped giving like marks or all the systems, which has again broken the state sponsored education system. Why I'm focusing only on education? I'm from a village. I'm the person who, like, I'm like one of the very few person who can talk in English, and right now I'm here. And I see that only education brought me here. There was no other resource, nothing which could have helped me to come here from a village to Boston. So I'm imagining myself a son of a primary teacher right now sitting here. I see that if these things will not continue, any other son or daughter from my background, like Dalit background for say, will not have this opportunity to be here. And apart from this, other, like, that other kinds of violences, these rapes, and these are like indicators not of any lust or anything. These are like caste atrocities. They are intentional. They want to, like, for example, they want to teach us lesson. So these are like out of that. They want, like, if anything, they want to, like, this case was not only this case. This case happened, like, this is intergenerational. In that case, even the victim's grandfather was being tortured by the grandfather of the one who raped her. That this case is intergenerational. So see that rivalry, see that enmity, and teaching, like, in India, patriarchy, caste is like based on patriarchy and gender. So if a woman of, like, from Dalit background is taught a lesson, that entire community or entire family learns a lesson. So this is what symbolize that. So rape is not only against that girl, that my sister. It's against my community. Everyone who, like, doesn't, who believes in anti-caste, it's rape against everyone. So, like, it's not only like that girl. She's a representative of all of us.
Yeah, and it definitely is pointing towards a larger systemic issue. Like you said, it was not just that girl, it was also her grandfather and the larger community as a whole. But Dada Sahib, you say that you come from a village, right? And now you are pursuing your PhD. First of all, props to you for getting to where you are today. I know it's definitely from your hard work and your dedication, but let's talk about other Dalit young people as well. How has caste affected their opportunities to climb up that social ladder?
This is very like I think so. I missed while saying this. My every other friend, like from my village, who was with me in my school, right now they are daily wages. Either they are like non-land, like landless laborers, or they are like they are working as daily. They don't earn like even $2 per day. So what has kept them there is they didn't got any like other like government school. After government school, because of the poor quality of government school, they didn't got to get education for other things. And because of the caste, they didn't had land to do their agriculture. And because they didn't had land to do their agriculture, they went to like other for example, my family, my extended family is a bonded labor. So my aunts and all that, they are bonded labor. They go for sugarcane cutting. Even like my brothers who were staying in fields, they didn't got opportunity to go to school because they never had school. And even if they went to school, maximum time, like for especially I'm talking for my cousins, his time went in doing the like daily work of like what teachers bringing chai for them, bringing whatever they wanted for them, like instead of getting a quality education there. And other things like they don't have resources means means, like it is this thing so usual, like so normal for me that I'm not able to like put in my words. Like out of 10 families, you will say 9 families who are living below poverty line. When I'm saying below poverty line from Indian standards, that is like 30 to $35 like per month, not like per day, per month. So their life goes only in eating and earning for tomorrow. Like they quality of life, what we say quality of life, what we have learned, like education. Like my other sisters, they go for goat trading. My like they school is nothing for them. Like why they want to go for goat trading? Because goat after every 6 months, they produce another goat so that they can have that goat and they can again earn that money. Like their life is only in for tomorrow's bread. Like and other like why it is happening. One, they have been kept away from education. Second, well, or any other form of resources are being kept away from them. And apart from them, if they want to do anything against the will of upper caste or anything, and I'm select per se anything, they are not allowed. Like it is there is a term called mental slavery. Caste is a mental slavery, so
Yeah.
it impacts in that way. So they have never been thought of coming out of village in like bonded there itself.
Yeah, there's no even mindset that, I can come out of this, I can become something more, because they're just so engaged in, okay, tomorrow, what am I going to eat? What is my family going to eat? Thank you so much for sharing just, your personal things and your family, what they've gone through. And right after our short break, we'll continue to talk about caste in India, how it is affecting those people, the Dalits, and also what we can do to help. You're watching us on Galaxy 19 Satellite, MuslimNetwork.tv, Amazon Fire TV, Roku, and soon on Apple TV as well. We'll be right back.
Billboards are popping up all over the country with an
Our neighbors don't
eye-catching
realize
message.
that Muslims are absolutely opposed to ISIS.
Salam. My name is Abdul Malik Mujahid. I'm an imam in Chicago.
16 shots! No peace! No justice! No peace!
So how do we bring up the energy which can really have an impact on the world?
You need to build bridges of understanding among people, and we need to have America moving forward.
That lesson learned brought the strength of humanity to America, which is the diversity.
Mujahid Talks, only on Muslim Network TV. Faithfully connected.
Welcome back to NextGen. I'm here with Dadasaheb Tandale speaking about caste in India and how it affects the most vulnerable, how it affects these people. Now, Dadasaheb, how do we see in India where caste is not even a factor? How do we even start? Where do we start?
So this is like very, I would not say utopian, but this is very progressive question. So thank you for asking this, because if we need people to think in this way that we want to see India without caste. So like, India without caste would be like it will require a collaborative, transdisciplinary, like concentrated efforts. And the aim of that efforts would be social justice and annihilation of caste. Without breaking caste in India, you can't dream of social justice. Like I want to be very firm on this, and I want to like I will be very sure about this, because like not only academics or not only activists or not only policymakers, we want everyone. It like from international diaspora, international like people, like as Martin Luther King says, injustice anywhere is threat to justice everywhere. So everyone who like has an opinion for like for bringing social justice in this world need to contribute for that, like annihilation of caste. And when I see this, first thing which comes to my mind is like at practical level, ground level in India, oppressed communities. When I say oppressed communities, I want to say OBCs, I want other backward caste, scheduled tribe, and Muslims need to come together. And when I'm saying all these things, it is not political statement. It's like this is statement coming from a person who has worked for human rights. These are the people who suffer most because of the institutional and implicit and explicit biases of dominant castes. And there may be people, or there are people who are from dominant caste and who may not believe in caste system, but may be operating because of their like pressure, because of this pressure. And what is indicator of this? The caste based marriages are indicator of this. Even though we have produced engineers, doctors, like all IT people here in US are come from India, and especially from dominant caste, but they don't have guts, or they don't have that courage, or they don't have that education to go for their marital this thing for beyond the caste, because of their, I say, as I said, implicit bias, purity and pollution concept. So for breaking this, as Paulo Freire says, concentration, critical awareness, education, like everywhere, health, education, societal level, political level, everywhere is subject of concentration or anti-caste needs to be there. Everyone, like when you are asking surnames or when you're asking names and all that, we should make sure that we teach our kids that you don't have to insult someone because of caste. For example, mine, when I in my fourth standard, when I mentioned my caste, my friend, my very close friend in the recess, he came to me and said, "Oh, you belong to that caste. That caste people come and clean my cows." And I felt so insulted. Now I feel so insulted because that time I was topper of my class, and like being that he made me feel insulted. But I know like it was not his like that opinion, but it was against that caste which I belong to. So I think like a fourth standard kid knows what is caste, so that should not be known. Like that should not be known, that he should know what his caste or her caste is, but he should not know, or she should not know, that some other caste is lower to their caste. So first of all, this concentration. Second, education system and affirmative action, that is representation. Again, I'm saying affirmative action or caste-based resolution. I'm firmly saying this. It is not for any. It is not socio-economical development program. It is program of representation. Why representation? When a person who understands my pain, who understands my vulnerability, goes there in decision making, can make decisions. For example, in this case, rape case, if a SP or if a police officer from Valmiki community would have been there, I'm sure, or I have that opinion, I feel optimistic that this case would have turned a little bit different way, because he or she would have framed this problem in different way. Framing of the problem is a problem. Like in India, caste is seen as past, but with the ghost of caste is not past. It's going to be in future with us. So people don't want to mention caste in discussions, other than only in newspapers, like a Brahmin girl wants to marry a Brahmin boy, or a Thakur girl wants to marry a Thakur guy. Apart from this, people don't want to discuss caste. It is intentional efforts should be made to discuss caste, and like like notions about that. For example, scheduled caste and other people are said that they are son-in-law or daughter-in-laws of government, because everything is free. So this free is very big, this thing. So they feel that these communities are burden on the other taxpayers and all that, which is not true, because everyone is paying tax in India, and state has role, democratic state has a role to bring, like to include the excluded communities since generation on the basis only of their caste. So efforts or people should be made aware, like before doing any like such kind of inclusion programs. Social media role of media has been very poor in this case. Like I don't want to go, because I can go for like 10-12 hours talking about that, but role of media has been very very poor in handling this case or any other such cases. the role of judiciary, they also should be true to their profession, because it is house of law, not house of justice. So they should not feel that they are doing any justice. They should like follow the guidelines, follow the law which they are supposed to. That is Constitution of India. They should only limit themselves to them, not any other, like any other way or any other notions which they carry because of their dominant these things. So all these institutions should play their role. And like as Dr. Ambedkar has already had that fear that social democracy and political democracy, there should be efforts to make these two democracies come together. And then as you ask this question, India can dream of being like casteless society or casteless nation.
Now, Dadasaheb, it seems that caste is ever present in the minds of people, but like you said, they don't talk about it, they don't want to mention it, but we have to name it in order to come to a solution. And some of these solutions seem, very just personal, regarding the community, and others are higher, like you said, representation in order to gain justice. If we have people from those communities in those positions of power, we are more likely to gain justice, like you said. But I want to talk about some of the work that you and the groups that you're working with are doing, because I know that I don't want it to seem like just there's silence and nobody's opposing and protesting, because people like you are. Tell us about some of that work.
Great. So like I work at two level here in US. I'm part of Boston Study Group, which is an Ambedkarite organization. And the vision of our, like the goal of our organization is advocacy for annihilation of caste at global level. And apart from that, like the main strategy which we use is conscientization, like critical consciousness of raising critical consciousness of non-Indians or any other people who understand structural operations, for example race or religion or any other way. So we try to like bring them together, discuss with them about caste, and tell them and frame the caste problem properly in front of them. So far only this had helped us to bring people from like various or different backgrounds together to work towards the mission of annihilation of caste. So this kind of work, and we also help like students like me in India who are aspirant but who doesn't have resources to come to in US or any other any other universities for studying. So we mentor them in India through online or in collaboration with other sister organizations, Ambedkar organizations. And apart from that, we also like have access to universities or any other schools or students. We conduct regular conferences, like for example Dr. Ambedkar's unfinished legacy. We have been doing this every year, like before this COVID. We have been doing this for since 2015. So we do that. We bring academics together. We bring practitioners together, like to discuss how we can annihilate caste. And apart from them, in India, I'm part of BASE Foundation. BASE is full form of BASE is Basic Action for Social Empowerment. In that we are trying to develop a model which would really bring like a sustainable development model towards like social justice. In that we focus on education, we focus on health, especially maternal health for oppressed communities, because we are disproportionately women are dying from that community. And apart from that, we are like focusing on farming, because farming is going to be maximum people in India, especially from oppressed communities, are like engaged in this agriculture sector as landless laborers. So we are looking for state socialism, what Dr. Ambedkar talks about, collaborative farming, or like bringing like together different kind of farmers, small farmers, larger farmers, and making a collective and working towards them. So basically it's about social, economical and political development of those communities. So I'm trying to that with my other committed friends in India, and here also through Boston Study Group, I'm trying to work with my other committed friends and even my wife.
Yeah. Thank you so much for talking about the work that you're doing. You come from a community that doesn't have much, and you kind of made it out of that, climbed your way up through education, but you haven't forgotten the people and where you come from. And I think that's absolutely phenomenal. And you deserve to be applauded for that. So thank you for telling us about your story and the situation of Dalits in India. To our audience, we urge you to get involved and start speaking up against these injustices. Thank you so much once again, Dadasaheb, for being on our show. And thank you to our audience for tuning in. And we'll be back next week on NextGen. Assalamu alaikum. Peace be upon you all.